Fleet's Journal. I'm 6 days overdue at the sanctuary, although I doubt Astrid will be concerned. Even so, I must continue forward with all haste. I have reason to believe that there is another Phoenix assassin buried in the mountains northwest of Whiterun. If what I saw in my vision was true, the item that lies there will be well worth the trip. I'm not sure why, but I've come to believe that my eye was not lost, but rather has become the property of Sithis. Perhaps he places the visions there that he needs me to see. It's strange to think of it in this way, but it almost feels as if my dead eye is in another realm, and I'm still able to see through it. Perhaps this is nothing more than a feeble man's attempt to explain that which cannot be understood. Today will be Nephae's first test. She does not know what I intend, but that is for the best. I would hate for her nerves to get the better of her. I have instructed her in the use of this specialized dagger, but true ability is tested on the field of battle. It will give her a chance to prove she's a true daughter of Sithis. I still have a contract to fulfill in Morthal that must take priority. I will have to take Lydia on this trip, and I have instructed her to act as Nephae's guardian in my absence. I intend to set camp near Silent Moons and continue on alone. For now, I think it's best if I carry out my contracts away from their view until I have discerned more about the nature of each of them. Welcome, dear viewers, to CouchWarrior TV on YouTube. I am the CouchWarrior, and you are watching Arcane Arcana, a Skyrim Let's Play. Welcome back to the story, everybody. We are now in part 6 of chapter 7. I want to thank you all for returning to the story. A lot of things have happened in the last couple parts of this story. We have, of course, taken on a follower who is Nephae, and Nephae will be essentially the apprentice of Fleet going forward here. We have also started the main quest for Skyrim, the Dragon Quest, which is going to introduce some very interesting complications into our story with the arrival of dragons. But both of these changes are going to add a lot of color to the story, and I am really looking forward to it. So today's episode, this one is going to be approximately 45 minutes in length, and we are going to start down the road of getting these assassination missions done. They have been on the docket for some time now, and with all the things that have happened in the last couple episodes, we have not gotten around to doing them. So that's really what this one is all about. We are going to try to take care of one of these assassinations, and then I've got a special side trip. As was alluded to in Fleet's journal entry, we will be making a side trip. We're going to take on a dragon, and we are going to try to recover the remains of the second of 5 ancient Phoenix assassins, and we are going to try to recover the item of power that was buried with him. So that is what we are doing today. And right now, I am just kind of getting set up for the journey. So just a little bit of prep here. I have gotten Nephae completely outfitted. She is now wearing the black mage leather garb. It is very similar to the outfit that Fleet used to wear, his second outfit. So she is dressed primarily in leather and cloth. I have outfitted her also with a complete bandolier. She is using most of the vial attachments for the bandolier, and you'll be able to see those a little bit later in this episode. Essentially what they are holders on the bandolier and on her belt that allow her to carry vials with various potions and poisons in them. It's really they really function in the same way that Fleet's bandolier does, but they have a bit different look to them. So I thought that would add a little bit of variety. Not to mention the fact that I kind of picture Nephae as maybe having some abilities in the area of alchemy. So it seemed fitting for her character. We, of course, here are using convenient horses. Therefore, their kills, the kills of my followers, pop up on my HUD, and I'm able to acquire those items. That is just about as convenient as it gets. So, thus the name. So ultimately, Fleet has to make it to Morthal. We have an assassination to carry out there. We are going to eliminate a bard who works in the tavern there. His name is Lurbuk, and I'm not sure who this contract is for. That apparently is none of my business. My business is only to carry out the contract. So I'm not going to concern myself with that. We are going to take him out and move on. But first, on my way by Whiterun here, we're going to stop and visit our fence. We have not visited him in some time, and I've got several things here I think I could sell to him, and we can make a little money. We are also going to be talking a lot in this episode about amazing follower tweaks. That mod, I've been doing a lot of experimentation with it. I've learned a lot in the last 48 hours about this particular mod. There was a lot of footage recorded and footage that ended up on the cutting room floor just because it was so experimental. Mainly me just trying to figure out how this mod works and how I can use it in the context of my storytelling. It gets a little bit complicated sometimes, but we will explain that as we go through.
Juicy goods to sell? What have you got for me today?
What do you give me for these?
I give special rates to members of the Thieves Guild. Show me what you got.
So let's see what we've got here. I am going to get rid of a number of gems here. I'm going to get rid of anything that isn't flawless and anything that doesn't have a special name. This Mark of Diabella I'm going to keep. This Flawless Ruby I'm going to keep. There are some interesting items that come with a Black Sacrament mod that I can craft if I have Flawless Rubies. So we are going to keep those on hand. Then I've got, miscellaneous jewelry here that is worth a good amount of money. Generally, I used to keep all this stuff thinking that I would enchant it, but, generally speaking, I don't. So I'm just going to jettison the stuff. What I was just looking at there was Nephae's old armor. I have taken it from her just because I don't want her to mistakenly equip that stuff. And through my experimentation with amazing follower tweaks, I found some occasions where my followers will go back and equip old armor. So just to eliminate the possibility of that happening, I have confiscated their old stuff. But I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to sell it. All right. I think we've done it. All right, there's Nephae. And I left Lydia out guarding the horses. Now Lydia, I have outfitted her as well, and we're about to get a look at her here. She is wearing a set of plate armor that comes with a Black Mage mod. This is the same mod that Nephae's armor comes from, but hers is considered to be heavy plate. There's also a light plate version, there's an ebony version, and they're all quite different. And they all look spectacular. So I've given her kind of an open face helmet. And Lydia is along for some extra firepower. I think we may need her sword arm. Again, my intent here is at some point I'm anticipating that I'm going to have to come into some sort of confrontation with a dragon, so having her sword arm with I think will be very beneficial. I have also equipped her with a a two-handed sword that comes from the Black Sacrament mod. It is very similar to the one I carry, but the two-handed variety. Nephae has one of those also, but she doesn't really use it that much. I have set up Nephae to function primarily as either a ranger or an assassin, and that is something that I can kind of dictate inside the Amazing Follower Tweaks mod. So my intent here is that Fleet needs to continue on to Morthal on his own, but the path that we want to take to the top of the mountain where we believe the Phoenix assassin is buried is a path that is going to take us on this side of the mountain. So what I'm planning to do is we are going to take on the bandits at Silent Moon's camp as a team. Then we are going to set up camp at Silent Moon's. I'm going to leave the girls there at Silent Moon's, and I'm going to ride ahead to Morthal, perform my contract, come back to the camp and meet up with them again, and then we will embark from there into our confrontation with the dragon. I would say that in order for me to fulfill the 2 remaining contracts I have and get back to the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary in Falkreath is probably going to take the next 3 episodes in total to get that task done, with some stops along the way. We're going to be stopping along the way to do some crafting. We also have another assassination to perform at Mixwater Mill. So there will be a number of things happening along the way, but it will be a nice mix, I think, of travel and some good variety in the combat scenarios as well. All right, so we have dismounted here. I'm going to get a quick look around. No movement down here except for a deer. So right now I have, inside Amazing Follower Tweaks, I have set up these 2 characters to have very specific combat styles. I have set up Nephae as a ranger. A ranger is kind of a multi-purpose fighter. She will use a melee weapon, and she will use a bow alternately depending on the situation. She will choose accordingly. Some of her decisions are made based on what does the most damage. Now this deer here, I have fired an arrow into the rock behind him. I'm trying to coax him to run across this open plain. Silent Moon's camp is populated by bandits. If the bandits are out wandering around, they will pursue that deer. Okay, here's one on station. She's done. Okay, and we're going to take a wide circle here. One of the things that I always have to be aware of with these followers is that they aren't necessarily going to have the same degree of stealth that I have. Nephae is pretty good, but Lydia in her heavy armor is going to be a problem, so I have to just be aware of that and use her to my advantage when possible. Okay, here's a sentry. I'm going to try to aim above to compensate. There, number 2 is down. Now usually there is a mage hanging out around this fire, but I don't see him. I don't know if that's because he's not there or because he's far enough out of range that I'm not picking him up yet. See my followers, they're right on my tail here. Still don't see him. So we'll just move forward cautiously. I may have to coax him out. We'll figure out if he's there. Maybe we put an arrow down range to try to draw him out, perhaps. Yep, he's there. Alright, let's let him approach. Okay, here come the girls with the thread the needle. Sorry, ladies. That would be too noisy. Now, despite our distance from the top of this monument, it seems as though we've still alerted the other bandits. There are 3 of them. Okay, here comes the mage. Just going to take him at range. Should be 2 more. Oh, here, there's an archer. Another one down. Oh, turned around. Here we go.
Come on.
All right, that's 6 bandits down. That should take care of all of our bandits at Silent Moon's camp that are outside. Now, we're still going to have some bandits inside, but I've got a special treat in mind for them. For now, we are going to secure this outside area, and I will have my followers establish a camp. Now, Amazing Follower Tweaks allows me to set their combat styles. And these are kind of generic combat styles. Nephae, as I said, is set to Ranger right now. Lydia is set to Two-Handed Warrior right now. And all that really means is that every time you set a combat style, the mod will refactor all of their skills and their perks to accommodate that fighting style at whatever their current level is. So it makes some decisions about what's most appropriate for them to have for that particular fighting style. So when I'm on the trail, my thought is Nephae is probably great to set up as a ranger. That way, if we get into a ranged combat situation, she can default to the bow and just go crazy. However, when we're doing infiltration, I will probably set her back to none as far as combat style goes. And when I do that, Nephae will go back to her default combat style, which is more of an assassin combat style. High in stealth, skills like that. She has the stealth skills, assassin blade, things like that. So if I set her to ranger, some of that stuff will be overridden, and she will become more heavy on the archery side. So what it allows you to do is really pick the right skill set for each follower for a given scenario, which I really like. All right, so we're going to have Nephae set up camp for us. To do that,
let's get going.
We're going to go to tweak options. These come from Amazing Follower Tweaks. I'm going to go to actions, and we're just going to tell her to make camp. She will do that. The camp will consist of 2 tents, a small hide tent and a large hide tent, a campfire, a pot, some places to sit, and even a tanning rack. Now, the one thing I've found, and you can kind of see it going on here, is that you need a big area, and you also need a very, very flat area. The camp is always designed to deploy on a flat surface. So if you deploy it on a slope, it's going to stick out strange. There's going to be clipping. You're going to have, items floating. And that's a bit of what we've got going on here. We've got one tent kind of hanging over the side, but this is sort of the closest thing I could find to a flat surface. All right. Now I've instructed Lydia to stay at the camp, and I am having Nephae follow me. It's time for us to treat her like the apprentice that she is, and we are going to test her. We're going to test her abilities as an assassin. To do this, I'm going to be using another mod. This is called Mixed Unit Tactics, which allows me to actually command her in combat. All right, so to start with, I need to go back to follower tweaks, and I'm going to tweak her fighting style. You remember she's set as a ranger right now. So we go to tweak options and combat, and I'm going to set it to none. So basically I've turned off the ranger settings and set her back to her default assassin-like settings. All right, now I'm going with a muffle spell, and you'll see why shortly. Now, if you look down this corridor, okay, we can see there's an enemy down there. I want her to take out that enemy. But in order to do that, I have to approach first so that I can get my follower within sight range of the enemy. Now, I have to move back behind my follower and get the enemy and my follower in the same frame. So, in other words, Nephae needs to have the enemy in her sight line. Now, once I've done this, I can command her to take down the enemy silently when you're ready. At this point, she's going to target the enemy, and when she's ready, she'll move. Dagger comes out. Okay, she successfully dispatched this guy. Now, she's bringing a bandit with her, however. But this affords me the opportunity to go to the bow and cover her flank. So if she can keep him occupied just long enough for me to get some shots on him.
You think I'm afraid of you?
Alright, one more shot on this guy. Okay, now she can take him. And she does. Alright. Good job, Nephae. It wasn't flawless. She successfully took out the target, but she attracted the attention of another bandit. So, but that is the lot of an apprentice, right? It's all about learning. So it actually gives us the feel like we're teaching her how to do something, which is just brilliant. Okay, now this is a trick. We've got a tight corner here. Again, I've got to get her in the sight line for the enemy, and she is following behind me a good 10 feet or so, which means I have to get that much closer to the enemy to place her in a position where she can see him. So you can see where she is now, she can't see him, so I have to advance further down the tunnel here until she gets up to the corner. Thus, the importance of the muffle spell here. So a little bit closer. Okay, now I think she's in position. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to move around here. Now I've got her in my view, and I've got the enemy in my view.
What is it?
Now we need to command her. Alright.
Don't do that.
Yeah, it's a little glitch that's happened to me before. When I click on the thing I want, sometimes it'll select something else. It also randomly changes the order that the items appear in my list. Okay, so she's got her command. She waits till she's ready and she goes.
Huh?
She's done. Perfect job. Perfect job. Good job, girl. Alright. Now I loot the body. And as the boss, my job to pick the lock. And just like that, we have successfully cleared out Silent Moon's camp. We've got some potions, a little bit of loot, even some food out of the deal. Now, as I said, I plan on going on alone. Lydia is watching our horses and our camp area, so we're going to finish up in here. We're going to go out and rejoin Lydia, and then I'm going to leave Nephae at the camp and come back and meet them here when I've completed the job. Now, you may be asking, why am I doing this? Why not just take my followers all the way? Well, there's two reasons for that. One reason is that Fleet, his contracts for the Dark Brotherhood are still a very private business, right? And they are his contracts. They are confidential. There are aspects of them that to him are ceremonial, kind of spiritual in nature. And the fact is that while these two are my followers, neither one of them are really members of the Dark Brotherhood. So it would seem like a break in protocol to allow them to observe me doing these things, at least right now. So I'm going to command Nephae to stay here at the camp. I'm going to use the tweak options to make her stay. Go to actions, and I can just give her this dismiss but hang out here command. It means that she'll stay in the vicinity of this camp, but she'll go about her business. She'll cook, she'll use the tanning rack, she'll do regular day-to-day things, she'll even sleep. So at this point, they're all good, although my horse is still back up the hill. So I'm going to go back here
You're someone
to
who
Lydia.
I am your sword and your shield.
I'm going to ask her to follow me again.
Lead the way.
Then, once I've done that, I can go back to the tweak menu. Well, that's Nephae's horse. Go back to the tweak menu, and I can command Lydia to gather up my horse for me. This is also under actions. Round up any horse I own. And there it is. Okay, now at this point she's done that for me. I don't want her to follow me, so I'm going to command her to dismiss and hang out here. Alright, so there we go. I've got my ride, and I've got my 2 companions who are going to stay at the camp. And this frees me up to go off on my own. So, now, one of the things that I'm going to show you a little bit later here is how to use some of the command shortcuts. There are some faster ways to do this. Not all of it. I mean, if you want to get into finite detail by the individual, you have to use that tweak menu, but there are group commands that I can issue by using the power button. Whatever key you've keyed to your shout powers, you can select the Amazing Follower Tweaks option for that, and then you can hit that button and get some quick commands that allow you to tell everybody to stop or tell everybody to go stealth, or things like that. We'll use some of those later. All right. I thought I saw something going on up here. I'm going to take a look. Yeah, there's a couple of spiders up here. I do like to get some spider venom, so it's worth this little side trip. There you go. Big, ugly spider. There's my horse. Wow. He found a new place to park, apparently. Didn't like where I left him. Too close to the spiders, maybe. Alright, now, he was fighting another spider, so presumably there should be another body up here with more venom. So I am going to venture up here and see if I can locate that. Where are you? There it is. Good enough. I'm going to quickly run up here and just have a look. Now, one of the things that is a little bit tricky is the combination of having horses and followers, because they don't necessarily obey all the same rules, right? So I can have all of my followers dismount, and I can have them go into stealth mode and follow me. The horses will stay put. But as soon as I come out of stealth mode, if I haven't commanded them in any way to stay back, the horses will come running. So that's one thing that I've had to get used to a little bit. There were a couple of occasions where I was testing this mod out where, I was kind of in a situation where I didn't want a stampede of horses and got one. So that's something that's easy enough to deal with once you get used to it. Okay, here's a wolf. I'm going to take him from horseback. Done. We'll get our pelt. Alright, now let's cut through Labyrinthian and head to Morthal. We must be prepared to fight some trolls here as usual. Nephae's journal. I don't know where to start. My life has become something I never would have expected. This man has taken me in, given me clothing, food, a warm place to sleep, and this beautiful, beautiful dagger. In the last 24 hours, I have gone from a prisoner, destined to the headsman's block, to I don't know what. He insists that I call him Cimmerian, but I am certain that this is not his real name. It is not a name of Breton origin, anyway. I haven't the courage to ask him, yet as he seems to have changed since we left the dungeons of Whiterun. For some reason, I have trouble making eye contact with him. Looking him in the face just seems wrong for some reason. I'm not sure where we're going, but I do not care as long as he takes me with him. My intuition tells me that we are doing something important, and that's all that matters. So nobody gets through Labyrinthian without at first dealing with the trolls. I don't believe I need to deal with all of them, though. There's 2 here that stand directly in my path. We've taken those 2 out. And the others won't be able to catch me, so there's no point in wasting time with them. I'm really interested in getting to Morthal as quickly as I can and fulfilling this contract. We are several days behind where we are supposed to be. Alright, it is also getting rather cold, so I'm going to pause here a moment. We're going to switch over to our Cloak of the Crow, put on our hood, and try to continue forward without riding our horse off this ledge. Okay. Come on. Turn it. Turn. Oh, God. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, I almost bought it. That happens to me all the time. I stop my horse, and for some reason, when I resume, he wants to make a sharp left. I don't know why that is. Okay, we are nearly to our destination. Generally speaking, you can expect some sort of trouble along this section of road. Usually it's spiders. So I am going to assume that is going to be the case here. Oh yeah. Let's charge this one, knock him out of the way. Oh, that is brilliant. He sustained quite a bit of damage, but that simple delay allows us to get past and keep moving. So that's good enough for now. Now it is time for us to deal with Lurbuk. Lurbuk is interesting because he is in a spot where, I mean, it's a very public place. It's not brimming over with patrons, however. So in order to pull this one off, I'm going to need to get some supplies. That one bit of Nirn root is going to be helpful. Let's visit Lami here and see what she's got.
Jörgen and I both work hard, all the time. Morthal is important to both of us. I don't get many customers, but that leaves me time to try things out. Experiment, I guess.
What have you got for sale?
Take a look.
All right. We are looking for any ingredients that will help us with invisibility. So, Ice Wraith Teeth for sure. See if she's got some vampire dust. A little bit. We can take the vampire dust as well. Spider egg, we'll take that. Can always use that. Nothing else I think I need here. Everything else is kind of more expensive than I really feel like I want to spend money on right now. Giant's Toe I might consider buying if I had some wheat, but I don't have any wheat, I believe. Let's look. Pretty sure I don't have any wheat. Yeah, no wheat. And she doesn't have any wheat either, right? Yeah, no wheat. Okay. So we'll skip that. I think we have everything we need. Let's see if I've got something I can sell her. The Draught of Strength I can give her because I've got so much carrying capacity with my bandoliers that I'm not concerned about it. I've got another one here. I can give her this one. The Solution of Regeneration sounds good in theory, but we are, level 32 or so, and I've never used one yet. So I'm just looking for, things that might be of value. Could lighten the load a little bit, make a little money back. Anything else? That's good for now.
Aye.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. Let's head to the tavern. Oh, hey. Can use this. We'll pay a little visit to Lurbuk. What's she running from? Us? You better run. You better run. Okay. So as I said, this one's going to be interesting. It's an enclosed space. It's a small area. And it's a little bit unpredictable in terms of who the patrons are going to be here. We know that Lurbuk is in here. We know that there is also a potential witness in here, at least one, the innkeeper. That must be Lurbuk there. So Fleet is going to take a moment to warm and observe, surveil, make sure that this is indeed our target.
I'm thinking of composing a song about you, Yoda. Would you prefer I proclaim your beauty, your strength, your...
Nah, just don't. Leave me out of it.
No interest in being immortalized in song, remembered and praised for all eternity?
No, I mean it.
When I'm known throughout Tamriel, you'll regret this decision.
Well, that little exchange right there just about confirms with 100% certainty that he's our target. He's in the right tavern, he's an orc, and he's a bard. Alright, well, we need a premise for being here, so I'm going to go ahead and buy a room.
There ain't much to offer. Running an inn weren't my plan, but Follian decided to move here, so I joined him.
Let's rent a room. Here's 10 gold.
Sure thing. It's yours for a day.
Could you show us to our room, please?
I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
Hey, look, free wine. Okay.
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Alrighty. So the key is that we are going to try to be, pretty casual about this. This is the room she has shown us into. Alright. We don't have any intention of staying here. This is going to be the launching pad for our assassination. Well, look at that. There he is. This is a rare opportunity to engage him in some conversation, confirm he's our target.
Is the line for my next performance starting already? Come on, don't be shy.
Sing me a song,
Plenty of room
bard,
for everyone.
a song of fear and death.
All right, how about this? Shadows creep and phantoms leap. A man's got scared, and the demons dared to visit upon him all which they feared. Brilliant, I know. It's a gift.
Oh my God. Well, it's true. It's true. He does need killing. That was terrible. But we are not the type of people who go around killing people because they're bad singers. Someone has performed the Black Sacrament, and they have asked for Lurbuk to be the target, and that is our sole purpose. So let's get out our mortar and pestle. This is a mod for a mortar and pestle. It allows us to make stuff on the trail. This is part of the Frostfall mod. Alright, let's make our invisibility potions. Got a couple of them bagged here. We'll make a few other things while we're at it. Resist frost, that's always handy. Restore some magicka, sure, why not? And I think there was damage health, we'll do that. Very good. Alright. Now, I don't plan on dragging this thing out. We are going to execute our plan and get out quickly, but casually. We don't want to run out in a flurry of activity. That would only draw attention to us and our mission. So I'm going to hotkey my invisibility potions. And Lurbuk appears to frequent this room. So we are going to wait and bide our time, and when he comes back, we're going to be ready. If we take him in that corner, at that moment, when he is sitting in that chair, he will be well beyond the sight line of our only witness, which is Yona. So our target needs to be in that chair, and that's when we make our move. So we wait until we hear him coming. There he is. It's time.
What are you...
Another soul sent to Sithis. Well, we've reached the end of another episode. Thank you for taking the journey with me, and until next time, may all that you do be swift, quiet, and deadly. And to all Skyrim assassins, I salute you. Silence is our battle cry. You've been watching Aranis Arcana, a Skyrim Let's Play. If you liked this video, please rate, like, and subscribe. For more information on this and other CouchWarrior broadcasts, visit me on the web at www.couchwarrior.tv.